They said I overreacted, said I went too far when I shot that drone clean out of the sky. But tell me this, what would you do if a camera hovered outside your wife's shower window 3 days in a row? Smile and wave. Yeah, I didn't think so. My name's Travis Dean, 45 years old, born and raised in the red dust stretch of East New Mexico. For the last 13 years, my family's called a 500-acre ranch home. It's quiet out here, the kind of quiet you don't realize you miss until you leave it. The porch creaks when the wind hits right, the cattle grunt low at dusk, and the only hum I ever cared for came from crickets and old porch fans. I built this place with my hands. Dug the well myself, paid for every inch of gravel on our road. My kids learned the smell of dirt before they ever touched an iPad. And my wife, Leah, she still makes my coffee like it's her love language. I didn't ask for neighbors. Didn't ask for anyone to show up and decide that peace and privacy were problems that needed managing. But about a mile and a half down the valley, someone thought it'd be real cute to slap a suburban utopia right in the middle of ranch country. They called it Vista Crest. White fences, plastic lawns, pastel houses that all looked like copy-paste dreams. I figured, fine, they can play civilization over there. I'll stay free out here. Then came the letter. No stamp, just slipped into my mailbox one morning like a snake under the door. Invitation to integrate into the Vista Crest community framework. Integration. Like I was some outsider who needed to be absorbed. I wrote back polite but clear as daylight. Not interested. I'm not in your jurisdiction. Didn't vote for your board. Don't want your newsletters. Leave me out of your HOA fantasy. I thought that would be the end of it. A week later, a county inspector showed up asking about an unauthorized water line. 2 days after that, an environmental notice about illegal land grading. Then a property tax reassessment 20% hike. All nonsense. But not random. Someone was pulling strings and I didn't need a detective badge to guess who. Then came the hum, low at first, like a mosquito that didn't know how to hide. My daughter Sadie, sharp-eyed 12 going on 20, came running into the barn yelling, "Daddy, something's flying above the house." I stepped outside thinking maybe a hawk, maybe some kid's toy drone. But what I saw wasn't a toy. It was sleek, matte black, 4 rotors, and a camera lens that glinted like an eye. It hovered 100 feet up, dead still, aimed straight at our porch. Not the road, not the pasture, our home. I waved my arms, tried to scare it off. Nothing, just floated there silent, watching. Next morning it came back. Different angle. Later that evening again, this time over the barn. Leah's window cracked open because of the heat. That's when she folded her arms. Looked at me with that calm that always means she's furious underneath. "They're watching us, Trav," she said. "Do something." I wanted to believe it was some mistake, some idiot kid. But 3 days later I didn't get to believe that anymore. It was midday, sun high. I was out chopping firewood. Leah was in the shower. Sadie and my boy Wyatt burst out the back door screaming, "Dad, it's at Mom's window." My heart dropped straight to my boots. I ran inside up the stairs. There it was, hovering 5 feet from the second-floor bathroom window. Steam fogged the glass. I could see Leah's shadow moving behind the curtain. That drone just hovered there, like it knew what it was doing. I didn't think, didn't shout. I walked to the gun cabinet, grabbed my Remington, stepped out onto the porch, and waited. 5 minutes later it came back gliding low over the east fence, cocky as hell. One pull of the trigger, boom. Bits of plastic and metal spun down into the brush like confetti from hell. The silence after that shot was sacred. 2 hours later, it was gone. The peace, I mean. 2 sheriff cruisers rolled up my drive, lights flashing. Behind them, a white Lexus. And out stepped the queen of pastel perfection herself. Meredith Wynn, HOA president of Vista Crest. Clipboard in hand, fury in her eyes. She didn't walk. She stormed. "That man destroyed my drone," she yelled before anyone could breathe. "I demand he be arrested." Deputy Ramos, local guy I'd known for years, looked at me. "Travis, did you discharge a weapon today?" "I did," I said. "On my property. Drone was spying outside my wife's shower." Meredith snapped like a match head. That drone was part of a community safety program. You endangered everyone. I pulled out my phone. You want to see something dangerous? Here, 3 days of footage. That drone hovering over my house, my barn, my windows. Ramos squinted, then turned to her. Ma'am, you got a permit for this FAA registration pilot license? She stammered. I authorized it. I'm the HOA president. Ma'am, he said flatly. Being HOA president doesn't make you the federal government. You can't fly a surveillance camera over private land without consent. That's a violation. Her face went brick red. He's unstable, armed, dangerous. I stepped forward, slow, calm. You brought a camera to my home, to my family's privacy, and now you want me punished for defending it. She glared like she could peel my skin off. You don't belong here. Leah stepped beside me. We've been here 13 years, Meredith. You showed up 9 months ago. Ramos cleared his throat. Ma'am, you're trespassing now. Please leave. She did. Barely. Tires spitting gravel as she sped off like a teenager with a grudge. But I knew it wasn't over. Women like Meredith don't quit. They double down. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat on the porch staring into the dark, feeling the weight of what I'd done. Maybe I had gone too far. Maybe shooting that thing was a mistake. The HOA had money lawyers' influence. I was just one man with a gun and a stubborn sense of right and wrong. I thought about my kids, about the look on Leah's face behind that fogged-up glass. I'd promised her this land would be safe. Now it felt like a war zone. That's when my phone buzzed. Something stinks, said Caleb, old buddy of mine, ex-state trooper turned private investigator. And it ain't your cattle. I told him everything. He just said, give me 24 hours. When he called back, his voice was low and tight. You're not gonna like this. Turns out the drone wasn't registered to any security firm or government program. It was tied to a personal account. Meredith Wynn. Even better, all its footage was automatically uploaded to a private cloud. Caleb got in. Don't ask how. There were folders, dozens of them, labeled by address, each one packed with high-res photos of people's homes, yards, even inside their windows. Notes like overgrown lawn, violation candidate and dog looks aggressive, potential letter. And then there was a folder with my name on it. Dean Travis, threat category 1. Inside were photos of my kids playing Leah hanging laundry me, sleeping on the back deck. Notes about what time we turned off our porch light. One line chilled me to the bone. Children unsupervised between 3:45 and 5:10 p.m. Build neglect case if needed. She was planning to come after my family, legally. Take our land, maybe even our kids. That's when I stopped feeling scared and started feeling furious. Next morning I drove straight to see Janice, civil litigator. 3 counties worth of reputation for being polite right up until she tears your opponent to ribbons. I showed her everything. She scrolled through the photos in silence, then said, calm as ice. We're not filing a complaint. We're filing a lawsuit. And I'm calling the DA. Meredith hadn't just crossed a line, she'd nuked it. Unauthorized surveillance, invasion of privacy, misuse of HOA funds. The drone, by the way, had been purchased using the community's budget under safety enhancements. Within a week, the sheriff's office launched a full investigation. Then someone inside the HOA leaked the cloud folders. It went public. The local news called it Dronegate. Headline after headline, Suburbia's spy queen exposed. Every homeowner in Vista Crest started digging through the files. Turns out half of them had been watched too. One woman cried on camera when she found pictures of her young daughter bathing. Meredith vanished. The HOA scrambled to apologize. They replaced her with a woman named Cheryl who showed up at my porch with cookies and nervous smiles. I didn't open the door. I didn't want cookies. I wanted justice. The trial came 3 months later, lasted only 3 days. Janice shredded the defense like tissue paper. She walked the jury through every photo, every timestamp, every creepy note. Neighbors testified one by one. Some cried. Others just stared at Meredith like they couldn't believe they'd ever trusted her. When it was my turn to take the stand, the courtroom felt like it was holding its breath. I told them about the quiet life we'd built, about the first time Sadie screamed about the drone outside the shower window, about the fear that replaced peace in our home. Janice turned to me and asked loud enough for every juror to hear, "Mr. Dean, why pursue this when the defendant has already resigned from the HOA?" I looked straight at Meredith. She wouldn't meet my eyes. "Because resigning isn't the same as being held accountable," I said. "And because someone had to say, enough." The jury didn't blink. Guilty, on all counts. Meredith Wynn lost everything. $275,000 in damages. Permanent ban from holding any HOA position. A restraining order barring her from operating anything with a lens. She moved to Nevada after that, probably somewhere without an HOA. 6 months later, the quiet came back. Sadie plays outside without looking up. Laya sleeps easy. The air tastes like peace again. Out by the gate, I put up a little sign. Drone-free zone. Violators will be grounded. Nailed just below it is one busted rotor blade, burnt and bent. Every time the UPS guy drives by, he chuckles. Yesterday, Wyatt pointed up at the sky and shouted, "Dad, something's flying." I ran outside, heart thumping. But it was just a hawk. I smiled, tipped my hat, and said, "You're welcome in my airspace, friend." Because privacy isn't about hiding. It's about belonging to yourself.